We've been talking about symmetry, and we're going to do a lesson on a resist and patterns. You're going to take your white oil pastel, and you're going to have a hard time seeing this. I know this is a stencil you're going to use. Put your hand in the center to make sure it doesn't move, artist. Go all the way around. Try to remember where you started. Okay. Now, when I do take this off, it's hard to see in the video, but there's the outline of the butterfly. And I want you to think of, we've talked about symmetry where it looks the same on the left as it does on the right. If you see, I did my stems there. Then you can come back in, artist, and add your middle body part of the butterfly. And I want you to think of using different lines that we've talked about. We talked about spiral lines. You can have broken lines. Now, I know this is hard to see, artists, what Mrs. Milligan is doing with a white oil pastel, but I'm doing the same thing on the left as I'm doing on the right to create the symmetry effect. And just come in with a bunch of different lines. And then we're going to do a wash with, not necessarily, well, it's called a resist, but we're going to use a liquid watercolors. And artist, if you want to put some lines over here, different designs over here as well, maybe some wind movement, fill this whole background in. This is your butterfly. I'm going to fill, and wherever you have colored in with your white oil pastel, when you paint over with your liquid watercolor, you will not be able to, I'm sorry, it won't cover over those lines. So I try my best to get symmetry and doing the same thing on the left, on the right, to put as much detail in as you want. Didn't mean to bump the camera there, sorry. And like I said, symmetry is the same on the left, on the right, using only a white oil pastel. If these are dirty, take a scrap piece of paper. This is the paper that I gave you before to practice doing a design on. You could also rub it sideways to make sure it's clean. Okay, now I'm going to show you the next step to do the liquid watercolors. Okay, artists, we've already drawn on here with our white oil pastel. We talked about symmetry and having this look the same left and the right. When we do use our water bowls, I've drawn lines on here where it says stop. Mrs. Milligan will probably have them filled for you, meaning we only do it half full. You will share with the shoulder buddy. We never want to splatter, okay? I have brand new brushes that I purchased. They are nice and long. Be careful when you're using them. It's the same that we've always done with Miss Paula. We don't get in the danger zone where the barrel is, where paint might be. We only put the tip in the paint because Miss Paula only likes to have her hair highlighted, not the whole thing colored. And we are never doing the booty scoot. We are pulling, having it be nice and neat. And we're going to do the background, which is the whole, we're actually going to do the whole butterfly. And these are liquid watercolors, artist. And sometimes the yellow on these do not look very good. You don't have to use yellow. You can use any colors that you want. And see how I have stickers in the front telling you what they are. My rule is I like to have only one or two open because you'll be sharing these with your shoulder buddy probably. Because I don't want to have, if something gets spilled, then it would only be one or two that would be spilled, not the whole thing. So you're going to unscrew your cap very carefully. I only have this up here to show you. We don't add water. This is only to clean your brush. I'm going to scoot this aside so I have a little bit of room on my back counter here. You have a mat that's underneath. You're going to choose your color, only dip the paintbrush in the tip, and you go, ooh, there's the magic. And you use one color at a time. Now you're starting to see my symmetry design. Now, when you paint, if you want to do the same thing on the left, on the right, you can, meaning I will bring in the same color on the left and the right, or you could just paint however you want. The drawing is what I want symmetry. Now, I'm going to paint a little bit more purple. I've already written my name on the bottom and with the Sharpie. Okay. Now I'm going to clean my brush. I'm going to hold this up so you can see it. Clean my brush. Be careful not to splatter. check it on the edge, make sure it's clean. Again, I'm only lifting it so you can see. Take my paper towel, dry Miss Paula, and then choose my next color. I don't have a shoulder buddy, so I'm going ahead and close that lid. And I'm going to do all the cool colors. We talked a little bit about what cool colors are. I also have a chart that's in the back of my room. The cool colors artists are blue, purple, and green. There we go. Trying to fill my whole thing in. Artist, if you want to leave some white spaces, you can. But you really want to be able to see the whole butterfly. So I'm brushing it in. See what I was talking about? Where the barrier, where it doesn't paint on top of where the oil pastel is. Makes it look super cool. And it also leaves like the paint on top of it. So now I've used my purple. And the purple I know looks a little bit of a pink. That's how this watercolor has turned out. I'm going to clean my brush. And then my last color of my cool colors would be green. I'm going to dry my brush. Put my cap on. Don't twist it too tight. If you need help, just let me know. This is the green. I'm going to fill the rest in with the green. Be careful, artists, when you're painting that you don't drip. See how I dripped over? But that's okay. As an artist, you want to remember, we can always turn it into something. A mistake becomes a masterpiece. Ooh, I like the mixture of cool colors. Once again, you can use any color you want. We will only be using a white oil pastel. And this is a great example of symmetry. Make sure that you don't over wet your paper. Now, when you do get done, what I want you to do is keep them on the mats that we have that are underneath the painting. Try to make sure you filled everything in. Okay, remember we're going to clean Miss Paula, reshape her, check with the paper towel, leave her on your tray. She never stays in the water because she cannot swim, so we don't want her to drown. It's very bad for her hair and her bristles. So artists, what I was trying to say is you're going to take this and go to the bottoms up on the drying rack if we have space. Start at the bottom and work your way up, Buttercup.